Hello guys, welcome to The Connection. Kama kawaida, this is the #1 Adventist online show that comes to you every single Friday of every week. So manze, I hope you had a fantastic happy new year, umefungwa mwaka uko salama and everything is okay with you. So in our today's show, we have a visitor, we have a guest who's visited us today, anaitwa Ruth Owino. Ruth Owino has an amazing story and she'll take us through her journey, how she got sick, how she lost her job and everything. Acha nisiwaonjeshe vitu mingi and she'll talk by herself. So karibu sana to the show and kama kawaida, subscribe, like, share, let it go viral. And remember, when you subscribe, you have subscribed the soul for Jesus. Ama vipi? Karibu sana kwa show na God bless you. Twende kazi. Hey. Yes, and now we are here. I'm with my sister Ruth. She'll tell us more about herself. Ruth, karibu sana to the show.
Thank you very much. And I'm happy to be here. I've never done anything like this, but I think there's always a first time. There's always the beginning of anything. My name is Ruth Owino. I'm an Adventist. I go to Nairobi Central Church.
Nairobi Central.
Yes, and I'm a mother of 3 beautiful angels.
Angels, how many boys, how many girls?
1 boy and 2 girls. And I have a tour company.
Yeah. By the way, we are in our
Brogibro
office here, by the way.
Brogibro Safaris and Events Management. We do events, we also do weddings. So anytime you have anything, you can be able to get in touch with us. We'll be able to give you a memorable experience. Be it you want to go to for safaris, be it you want to do any kind of event, weddings, birthdays, Brogibro is the place to go.
Oh, both local and
both
international?
Local, both, we call it inbound and outbound.
Oh, inbound and outbound.
Yes.
I remember inbound and outbound tourism.
Yes.
I did tourism sometimes. Oh, so
we normally take people to Israel. And before I went to Israel in 2018, I was kind of unwell. I was having a terrible headache. But being that each time I'm taking people for any outbound trips, I must go with them just in case anything can happen. Because there was a time I went with guys in Israel and guys got sick. So I must be there just to make sure everything is fine. If they get sick, we need to find a way of making them feel comfortable. So I went to Israel in 2018. I think it was the month of October. Then my headache became worse. I remember going to hospitals, each and every town we were, I would go to hospital just to be given strong painkillers. So when I came back, my husband decided we have to go and see a doctor. So we went to Aga Khan. When we went to Aga Khan, it was kind of an emergency. So the doctor suggested we must go for a surgery. Then I was like, no, I can't go for a surgery. So the doctor said it's an emergency. We've done scan, we've done everything, and I think you need a surgery. Your sinus are so bad. So I have a brother whom I follow who is a medic. I called him and he said, can I talk to the doctor? They talked, and eventually I heard him telling the doctor, proceed. That is when I knew I am not very okay. Because there was a time, I think there was a doctor who wanted to remove my sinus long time ago. Even
for the sake of
me,
our viewer, maybe someone with sinus.
Sinuses.
Yeah.
Sinuses is just any human being has got it's on both sides of your head, and it's like a weird headache. When they're so bad. I think everybody has sinus.
Like it's an headache type.
Everybody has
headache.
sinus. Everybody has sinus. So when yours are bad, it's like they either blocked or they can't. They are too much, so they need to be removed at some point. So like long time, I think like in 90s, they're supposed to be removed. But those days, I used to believe that when I'm not sick to the extent of being unconscious, I can't be done a surgery. So the doctor booked the hospital, Nairobi hospital, but I didn't go.
Nairobi hospital.
Yes, I didn't go for the surgery. So this time I think they just had to be removed. So I went to the hospital and the doctor booked me for a theater, an emergency theater. That was at about 5 o'clock in the evening, and I was in the hospital at 3. So you can see how urgent it was. By 5 o'clock I'd already gotten a room. So I was wheeled to the theater at 5, and the doctor did operation until about 1 a.m. in the night.
That was from what time?
From 5.
5 to 1.
It was like about 7 hours. I think by the time I came back to the ward, it was like 1. So it was so traumatizing for my family, my children, my mother, my brothers, because they kept on wondering what was going on. Kumbe, during the surgery, the doctor did, so to call, a mistake. He touched something that he was not supposed to have touched. So I started leaking from my brain. When I started leaking, the doctor, I think in a panic, he had to block the leakage. So he removed the skin from my thigh and blocked the leakage. When he blocked the leakage, so I was wheeled back to the ward. When I woke up the following day, I found like a bandage or something on my thigh, and I was like, what's happening? My thigh, my head, they don't connect. What is really going on? So the doctor had already left. So when he came back for review to see how I was doing, I asked him what is happening. He told me there was an accident that happened, and he had to rectify it by removing my skin to graft it, because I was leaking after he did the surgery. So he put me on bed rest, total bed rest, for 14 days at Aga Khan. After that...
Now, at what point did you leave Nairobi Hospital to Aga Khan?
No. This one is Aga Khan. Nairobi
it's Aga
Hospital was
Khan.
the other one that I did not go.
Sawa.
Now this is Aga Khan,
Okay.
Dr. Musyoka. So David Musyoka operated on me, and then he put me on bed rest for about 2 weeks. Then I was discharged. I went home. I was again on bed rest for another 2 weeks. So it was like about 28 days on total bed rest. Just for the grafting to be fine, to be firm. Then after that, I was like, initially I never used to breathe well. I could not breathe with my nose. All along when I was
used your mouth.
I was using my mouth most of the time. Especially when my nose is blocked, I would use my mouth. So after the surgery, I was like, oh, so people can breathe easily like this. I was feeling fine. Then after about like 6 months, I developed another weird headache. And the doctor, when I called him, he was like, had you been somewhere where there's a lot of smoke or something? I remember we were coming from home. We had a funeral. Then when we reached Narok, my headache was now too much.
But there, in the introduction, you never told us where you come from.
I come from Nyanza. I'm born in Rusinga Island, but I'm married in Oyugis.
Sawa. Endelea. Now Narok is...
Now I'm in Narok, coming from home. So when the doctor said, when he said, did I inhale any smoke? I was like, okay, I was in a funeral. There was smoke. So probably, you got. So I was with my brother. So he went and bought medication. The doctor he used to send me now medication. He just sent me on the phone to go and buy. So I had to buy medication there and take. When I arrived home, I was feeling kind of okay. So the medication was for 2 weeks. I took the medication. Then I was fine. After that, after some 4 months, again the same thing came. So it kept on reoccurring, and when the headache comes, it's like my head has been put charcoal, hot charcoal. My head is burning. So the worst of it all came in July 2020 during COVID. I remember it was during camp meeting, and I was supposed to be singing. We were singing, a group was singing, and I was singing. So after I finished singing, I was having too much pain. I decided to drive to Aga Khan. When I was going to Aga Khan to see the same doctor, one hand of mine was holding my head, another one was driving, because I could not I could not leave my head. It is terrible.
Severe.
Severe. It is like the charcoal is burning you. You get? So when I reached the hospital, the doctor asked me, how did you manage to arrive here? I said, I drove. I think we need to do another surgery. I was like, what? No. I asked him, what do you want to do again? It seems like because we did scans. We kept on doing scans all the time. And one side was like blocked completely.
That's one side of the brain?
One side of my head this
okay.
side, was totally blocked. You could just see dark things. So the doctor said, probably there's something that remained. We need to remove. Then I was like, what? Something remained. I go back to that theater again to take another 7 to 9 hours. So we decided, let's try another doctor. My brother's got a friend that they went to school together in Italy. So he introduced me to that doctor. That doctor said it's only surgery that can now cure this, because this side is actually blocked. I went to also Dr. Gikonyo. Somebody referred me to Dr. Gikonyo. The same thing. So after that, I was like, hey, I go another surgery in Kenya. I'm feeling reluctant. Then I talked to my family. My doctor started looking for a doctor in India. The doctor said we send him all the scans and all the tests that have been done and all the treatments. When we sent him, he said, when I look at this history, it looks like actually the leakage happened and it could still be happening. So if it has been happening since 2018, she needs an urgent surgery. So my brother said, fine. So we started collecting money. We started contributing, and my family contributed. And then in the process, the COVID was at the peak. So they said, India with COVID and with your head. I have a brother I have my kids in US and my brother. So we asked them, can they try to look for another hospital, another doctor that can do this? So they tried and they said, okay, I think you better come to the US, because it will be better. We are here, we can take care of you. Because India, if you go, you have to go with someone. So I had to go with my husband, and then we didn't have enough money. So having all that to take care of us and to be in a hotel and for all that time, and you don't know how long you are going to be there. So we decided, since I have relatives in the US, I wouldn't need accommodation. I'll only have the medical bill. Yes, and the transport for just one person, not the two of us. So I went to the US in the month of November.
That's 2020.
2020.
Okay.
Yes. So the month of November when I went, the first start, there they do everything thorough. They started you with tests, each and every day tests. And I remember each day we were doing a test. My brother used to call and say, before you go for the test, when you're in the hospital, just call, we pray. So we would pray.
Your brother was in Kenya?
My brother was in Kenya. My elder brother is called Solomon Oburu. He was in Kenya. So he used to call and say, Nyawech, let's pray. So we would pray for that particular test. And for sure, when the tests comes out, they were all negative. Each time we do for a test, when the test came, I was okay. I remember the worrying test that we did was to check if my brain is okay, because if I've been leaking all this time, where are the fluids going? So that is the one we prayed, and my mother called and we prayed. And when the results came, my brain was intact. And we were like, thank you, God. So the day of the surgery came, the doctor had told me he will do, he cannot really know what is really inside there. The scans might not really show it, everything in detail. So if we get into my head and get that I've been leaking all this time, it will rectify and I'll be able to stay in the hospital for 2 to 3 days. But if there was no leakage, he will just rectify whatever is there, or he'll just do the surgery, whatever is there, and then I will go home. So I went to the hospital at about 5 a.m. in the morning because my surgery was supposed to be at 7. So by 7 o'clock, I was wheeled to the theater. I remember being put anesthesia, and then I went. I didn't know what was happening. So the doctor did surgery from 7 up to about...
This is the second surgery at the US.
This is now the second surgery at the US.
Yeah.
The first one I was done in Kenya. So the doctor opened my head and he worked on me until 4 p.m. in the afternoon. From 7. So me, when I woke up at about 8 p.m. in the night, first and foremost, I could not carry up my hand. So when they were doing anesthesia, it's like the vein busted. So I got burnt this side. So they had to change. So this side was so painful and it was so heavy. I could not lift it up. Then I woke up from a very deep, peaceful sleep. I was wondering, hey, I've never had such kind of sleep before in my life. What was that? Was I really alive or I was dead? And I came back to life. So the nurse told me, the doctor had already left, the nurse told me to wake up and see if I could walk. Then I was like, okay, so if I could walk, which means you're preparing me to go home. She said yes. So I was like, okay, phew.
That's
then,
after how long? After the surgery?
After the surgery, I was wheeled back to the ward at about, let's say for 35. So this one, I'm waking up at 8 in the night.
Okay.
Because I was still asleep.
I think I can see God's hands in
all the time.
Yeah.
Since I was done operation in Nairobi, God was with me from then, 2018, up to 2020. And he's still with me up to today. So after that, I couldn't walk. I could not have a balance. So she told me to go back to bed. That was about 8 in the night. Then I went back to bed. Actually, I slept again. And now when I woke up, it was about 10 in the night. Then she told me, can I try to walk again? When I tried, I could balance myself. Then she told me, okay, now you can call your family. You are free to go home.
Wow.
I said, wow, that's fine.
Amen.
So I called my children. I called my family that were with me. Actually, my daughter was still waiting for me since she took me to the hospital at 5 in the morning. She was just waiting. So I called her and she came and I went home. They wheeled me down. Then I went home. So when I went home, because it was done, I had bandage all over. The doctor had to drill my bones in my head to create a passage. Because during the surgery in Kenya, when I was healing, since it was done poorly, 80% of the surgery that was done in Kenya was wrong. So when I was healing, my bones joined. So when my bones joined, there was no passage at all for any fluid to pass, for sinus to pass. Sinus, you know, they come out on their own. Easy makamasi. That is it. They come out on their own. So they could not come out. So that is why I was having a headache, because they turn into bacteria. And that is why when I was given antibiotic and painkillers, it will ease the pain and I would heal for that short time. So after that I went home and I had to sleep for like a week sitting. The doctor said I cannot, you see the bed for the hospital, they make you like
so
sit
you were
upright.
Like sit upright, yeah.
Because if I sleep with my head down, blood could go to my brain.
And that one is a disaster.
That is a disaster.
Yeah.
So I had to sleep sitting for like 7 days. so that all the blood would just come out.
7
And I was-
is even a number in the Bible. Naaman bet 7 times, and you are told to sit for 7 days.
Yes, I was to sit for 7 days. So after that, now the blood now was not coming out too much. I went for review after 7 days. The doctor said I was doing well, and he removed stitches. People ask me how come they can't see the cut, and I was done
In
operation
fact,
on
I
my
was
head.
looking at you.
Yeah, people ask me, but there they do through the computer, through laser. They don't need to cut you. They just use the computer.
Oh, then they insert
and then they
something.
insert something and they do
Then
the
they-
operation.
okay.
Yes, so that's why I don't have big marks
Okay.
on my head. So after that, I came back. COVID had hit us badly. We closed job. By the time I was going to the US for treatment, we had already closed from 10th of March because we were in tourism, and tourism was closed, completely closed. And when I came back in the month of March, we decided to open. And I've seen the hand of God working. When you open, at least things have been moving. You can be able to have employees, because I can't let them go. Where are they going? Everybody is just struggling.
Everyone was hit by this
Everybody was
pandemic.
hit by the pandemic. So we just struggled together, and so far God has been so faithful.
And we say that's your story, in a nutshell.
Financial.
So, okay.
So
thank
what
you.
I would advise anybody who could be in a situation like a disease, when a disease persists, try to change a doctor.
Seek second opinion.
Second and third and fourth. Don't go to the same doctor. Doctor will talk to you so nicely, the way they're trying to do there. But actually, I remember Dr. Musyoka telling me that my God is there and my God is going to heal. Even him, he was scared of what happened. He didn't know I would get out of it. And he told me, if you have your family, put a prayer, let them pray for you, because this is something that he has never seen. So when my family were praying for me, things have turned out to be the way they are now. I cannot complain. God has healed me. And from the month of October or November last year up to now, I've not had any headache. But I think I was having headache, just those ones of healing, bones trying to heal. I think at my age also it takes time for the bones to heal. So they're the ones that took a long time. But with medication, I've been able to heal. Since October, I've not taken any medication.
Okay, Ruth,
Since
another
December.
thing I'm thinking about, I know your heart is a bit heavy, because having gone to a Kenyan doctor who, I think, for lack of better words, you can say messed you up a bit. You had to spend a lot of money. Do you feel like you've forgiven the doctor? Ama you still have that? I mean, forgiving someone is a bit...
It is a bit difficult, but actually, it reached a point I discussed with my family, and they were all with the idea that I just forget about it. God has healed me. So whatever it is that he did, it could have been an accident, it could have been anything, but it does not really matter. I am healed, I'm healed. That is what is important. So I focus on my life and how I want to be close to my God, so that I can be able to help anybody who could be in such a situation. I would just advise you that it is never, it is not impossible. Everything is possible with God. If you put God first, like even getting funds, it was a challenge, but we managed to get funds, and I went for treatment and I came back. Me personally, I didn't have any coin. I'd lost my job in March, and this is now November, I'm going for treatment, and I didn't have any fund whatsoever. And I managed to go and I came back. So it is possible. You just trust in God and put God first with prayers. It is doable.
I know there is someone who's watching you back at home who during these COVID times lost his or her job and maybe has lost hope or something. What do you tell such kind of a viewer back at home?
I would advise anyone who had lost their job like I did, don't lose hope. Because if you lose hope, losing hope means now you've reached dead end. And it's not dead end per se. You can do anything. I believe as a woman or as a man, you can do anything. It reached a point I was even selling tomatoes during the COVID period. I was even selling masks during the COVID period. I was doing anything just to survive. And I would urge anyone, if you've lost your white collar job, come down to this level and do anything. And you will see God uplifting you slowly by slowly again. So don't ever
Yeah, our
listen.
God is a faithful God.
He is a faithful God. He will not let you, he will not leave you alone. Yeah,
Thank
he
you.
will hold your hands.
That's so nice. Thank you for taking your time to speak to the connection. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Karibu sana. And may God bless you.
You too.
Continue healing you and being with your family.
Thank you.
Till next time, cheers. Bye. Thank you guys for all those who joined us today. Mungu awabariki. Thank you for the support you're giving us. Right now, tumepita 500 subscribers. We are hoping to have 1,000 subscribers by the next time we're having this show. And I know tukiendelea hivi, then God has nice things in store for us. Let us glow and grow for Christ as we subscribe, like, and share in our show. Kama uko na any other story, an interesting story that you really want to share with us, the connection, hapo chini kuna namba yetu ya simu, kuna email. Kindly reach us and we are very ready with open arms just to get your story and get it live. Mungu akubariki. Till next time, God bless you.